Today we're going to talk about 10.5. Okay. One quick note, you will be allowed a note card on your next quiz and your test. I will get you the note card hopefully today if you'll help me remember. Okay. So 10.5, angle relationships in the circle. Okay. And some of the stuff that you're going to see today is going to help you with the second part of yesterday's assignment. So that second page that says 12.4 on top, you're going to turn that in tomorrow. So there are a few things that you needed to grasp off of today's to actually be able to do that. So on page 300, I want you to go ahead and read through the theorems and the core concepts. Okay? Kind of read them to yourself there. Take some notes if you need to.
300 and 301.
On 300 and, yes, 301 of your student journal. 10.14, tangent intersected a chord theorem. All right. Tell your neighbor exactly what it says there, or what it means in your own words. Not exactly what it says.
This angle is 1/2 of AB, which is AB.
Okay, now how many of you remember the problems like that on yesterday's assignment? Okay, so if I have this arc, BCA, angle 2, the angle that's formed by that chord and that tangent is 1/2 of the measure of that arc. Okay, angle 1 is half the measure of BA. Okay. Couple things about intersecting lines. You could have lines intersecting on the circle, inside or outside, and we're going to go through each one of those and kind of figure out angle measures based on that. So if they intersect on the inside, okay, the measure of angle 1 is going to be 1/2 of this arc plus that arc. The arc's formed by the intersection of those two chords. Okay, so angle 1, if we add these two things up and cut it in half, it's 1/2 the sum of AB plus DC. And same thing with angle 2, it's just now we're dealing with arc CB and AD. Okay, so using that theorem, or those two concepts, excuse me, I want you to take a look at problem number 1 here. Okay, angle ABC. Go ahead and tell your neighbor, this is on page 302 of your student journal. Go ahead and tell your neighbor what you get or how to get that for number 1. And actually, why don't you do 2 and 3 as well? Okay, ABC. Volunteer on how you did it. Sam. Okay, and that gave you this angle. Subtracting 70 from 180 because you have the straight line. So that ends up giving you, what do you get there? 110? All right. Good. So this one's 110 using supplementary angles. Okay? We good? Okay, so then to find the arc, you doubled it. Okay? Good. Everyone agree there? Yep, so arc AB, is that arc? So this one is actually AEB, right? So Sam, you thought this arc was 220 though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you were just calling it AB. So how can we tell the difference between AEB and AB then? Alex?
Because usually with major arc, they have 3 letters.
Good. Your major arcs will have 3 letters. Minor arcs could have 3, but you usually have 2. Okay? So in this case, AB would be half or twice 70, which is 140. So you double that. Okay? Very good. Any questions there? Okay, I want you to drop down to number 6, please. Number 6. Everyone find the measure of angle X there. Actually, why don't you do 6 and 7 right now? Okay, so we're applying that theorem 10.15, right? We're saying X is this arc and this arc, the arc formed by the chords that intersected, so the one directly across from X, directly across this way. We're adding those two up, so 92 plus 50, and cutting it in half. That's equal to the measure of angle X. Okay, so in this case, 92 and 50 ends up being 142 cut in half. 71 degrees. All right. How many got 71? All right. Questions on it? Okay. This one's a little tougher. All right. What do we have to do first on number 7? Tell your neighbor what you tried. Bless you. Okay, volunteer. What did you do there? No idea. Based on the arcs they give you, can I find that angle? No. Can I find this angle? Yeah. So let's find that angle. How would that be helpful to find that one? Say we call it Y. Yeah, Carl? Straight line? Yeah, supplementary angles after you find Y. Good. You can go that way or that way. Yeah. So let's find Y first. Everyone go ahead and find the measure of angle Y. Okay, what we get? 61? Yeah, I think 66. Okay, 66 degrees. And now, what am I going to do with that? Well, we'll use supplementary angles. 5x plus 14 equals 66. 5x then equals 52. And x is... Oops, hold on. Unbelievable. All right, thank you. So we got supplementary. All right, 5x plus 14 plus 66 equals 180. I think you guys are paying attention. So we get 5x, subtract 14, subtract 66, we get 100. So x is 20. All right. Any questions on it? Yeah. Yep, that would work. Yeah. Hey, Maddie.
Why do you have to add the angle measures together and then divide it by 2 to find? We're using this formula right here on that one. Okay. All right, I want you guys to go ahead and take a look at, back to page 301. Page 301, we're now doing angles outside of the circle. If the angles intersect outside of the circle, so in this case we have a secant and a tangent, or two tangents, or two secants, they intersect outside the circle, we're no longer adding the arcs. Okay, the arcs that are formed, we are subtracting the bigger arc from the bigger minus the smaller. Okay, and taking 1/2 of that. So angle 1 is equal to this arc minus that arc divided by 2, or 1/2 of this arc minus that arc. Angle 2 is equal to 1/2 that arc divided by that arc. Or, excuse me, that arc minus that arc divided by 2, or 1/2 of the bigger arc minus the smaller. Same thing here. Okay? All right, we have a few... we have one vocab term there, circumscribed angle. Okay, an angle whose sides are tangent to the circle. But I want to go ahead and try to apply some of that on these two problems right here, number 8 and 9 on the next page. So using those formulas, go ahead and give number 8 and 9 a go.
All right, tell your neighbor what you got for number 8. Setting them equal there. Or, excuse me, plugging them into our formula, we get 38 equals 1/2 times the quantity x minus 72. Okay, here's our x. We subtract the larger minus the smaller. 1/2 of that equals 38. I just double. I get rid of that 1/2 by multiplying both sides by 2. Get 148. How many got it? Okay. Next one. Kind of the same idea. It's just a bit more complex, right? You're plugging it. You're taking the bigger arc and subtracting the smaller. So 4x plus 8 minus 3x plus 2. 1/2 of that. So get rid of the 1/2 by doubling it. You get 56. And then combining all this stuff in here, you get x plus 6. X equals 50. Okay, remember when you have a negative symbol right here, when you distribute that, both of those, so that becomes a minus 2 there. That's how we get a plus 6. 8 minus 2. Okay, questions? Okay, one last theorem. Theorem 1017. The measure of a circumscribed angle is 180 minus the measure of the central angle. So if I want to find this angle right here, if I take 180 degrees minus that angle, I've got that angle. Okay? So the measure of this angle is equal to 180 minus your central angle. Drew? Yeah, they're supplementary. Yep. Okay, so these two angles would have to be supplementary. Yeah. Okay. I want you to try one more problem for me. This is number 4 and 5. Okay? Give those a go there. All right, so if ADB equals 220 all the way around here, so from there to there, 220, and angle B is 21. Okay. Given this angle right here, the 21 degree angle, we could find arc AD. What is arc AD? Yeah, it's twice this. It's 42. Okay. All right, meaning arc DB is, I know it's not telling us to find that. 42 minus, or 220 minus 42, which is 178, yeah. Okay. This is the remaining 360. What's that? $110? $140? Okay. 140 degrees. Okay, so we get 360. So that gives us our AB. All right, how about ACB? So A to C to B. So this angle right here, it intercepts two arcs, right? 42 and 140. It's kind of tougher to see. So you get that arc and that arc, or excuse me, those two rays from our angle. So we get 42 and 140. Add those two up. Am I adding? Come on, stay with me here. Yeah, you're subtracting. It's on the outside. If it's on the outside, you're subtracting. Okay, so 1/2 of that, 140, minus 42, 98. So you end up with 49 degrees. Okay. All right. Here are your 3, or I guess 5 different situations. Real quick sketches. Tell your neighbor which of those 3, or excuse me, which of those 5 set situations have the same formula to find angle x. Which ones have the same formulas? Let's call that one A, B, C, D, and E. C, D, and E. Okay? Remember, measure of angle x in all of those
is equal to 1/2 of this arc. If we called this arc A, and B, A, and B, A, and B, it would be 1/2 of B minus A. What's this one? Let's call this B. Measure of angle X is equal to? What's that? Yeah, 1/2 of B, right? It's half of that. Okay, how about here? We called this B and this one A. Measure of angle X is? Yeah, B plus A there. Okay, make sure you know your differences there.